5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is the first episode of the Team Killing Glitchtards podcast.
A Game Rage game podcast.
Yes, correct. The Game Rage game podcast. And if you listen to our other shit, you already know me. I'm Josh. I'm one of your hosts today. We also have with us, as usual, we have Frank.
Nope.
And we also have Adam.
Howdy.
And today we have a very special guest. He is what some in the gaming community have referred to as the Monster Hunter God.
The Sultan of Slaying.
The Beast of the Internet East. His name, Don Juan Rubido. The one and only. How's it going today?
I'm doing good tonight. How's everyone else doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing great. We're here. We're ready. We're ready to have fun. We're having a good time.
Yes, the Monster Hunter God is here.
I will say it got a little colder the second he walked into the building. I will say I'm a little scared actually. I don't know, man. I'm not a monster. Just so you know, please don't slay me.
Don't worry.
Before we get to the main course,
Yeah.
we gotta do introductions. You know what I'm saying, guy?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying, guy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, so let's do the introductions.
All right. Okay. So, does anybody want to go first? No, I'll go first.
Let's go left to right.
Left to right. Oh, so what? You want Frank to go first?
Yeah.
All right, Frank, you go first. Let's hear about Frank, about who you are, type of games that you like, because this is the Game Rage gaming podcast essentially. So, what kind of games you like to play? What kind of gaming experience do you have? And then we'll just go from there. Maybe we'll each ask you a couple questions, perhaps.
All right. I would say my favorite game would be Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yep, it's a good start.
Well, I've been gaming longer than I've been alive.
That makes sense.
So at some point, Frank's been dead inside for a while.
And playing, but still playing games.
I don't know. Like you can say you've been playing games since you were a kid, whatever.
Yeah.
But when do you really say that you were playing games? Because I remember playing like Sonic or Mario. I would play for like hours at a time, but then I'm probably still on level 1.
Yeah.
But what is it when you actually start getting the nuances of games? Do you consider that to be the moment you actually start gaming?
No, I think to me the physical act of playing the game is what I consider when I started playing games. So,
because we have that test where you can test kids to see when they gain the identity of self.
I
kind of feel that there's the same moment in gaming when you gain your identity as you understand what you're doing at that point. Like,
okay.
think about it this way: the majority of us millennials, our first gaming experience was most likely Super Mario.
Yeah, yeah.
Who taught you how to play that?
Nobody.
Exactly. You initially figured it out on your own.
Right.
But when is that moment where you realize that games are meant to be finished?
Frank, I wasn't expecting to have an existential crisis talking about video games.
You're on the wrong podcast.
But yet here we are.
Yeah.
If you want me to shut up, I'll shut up.
No. This
I
is excellent.
Yeah, of like self-realization. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Is self-realization when you started really truly playing the games?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of think that personally.
So, the first time you picked up a bat and started swinging it around, were you playing baseball?
I mean, technically.
But do you really consider that to be the moment of baseball?
I mean, you're not playing a game.
At what point is the embryo a child?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here
Yeah.
we fucking. Now it just got political.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Just because you pick something up doesn't automatically mean you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Or the first time your dad let you drive the car, would you consider that being a driver?
I mean, that's the first time I physically drove the car.
Drove a car, but would you consider yourself a driver?
No.
The first time a pilot, when he's in training, takes control of the cockpit, is he a pilot?
Well,
No, because every pilot was there. The first time they consider themselves a pilot is when they take their solo flight.
so then
What is your gaming experience where you realized
I think it's when you actually beat a game for the first time.
without any kind of
No, like
tips?
for me, like growing up gaming or playing video games. Like I remember there was one time when they bought me my N64 and I was playing the Ocarina of Time. It was a used game, so I was playing somebody else's file, and I was just playing that last mission where you're fighting Ganondorf, and he's throwing that ball of light at you, and you're supposed to knock it back with the Master Sword. You play volleyball, and then it hits him, and he's like, and then he goes back to doing it. And I was doing that for hours and hours at a time. What you're supposed to do is when it hits him, you're supposed to hit him with the arrow light. He knocks down to the ground. You jump over and start fucking him up. I never realized that because I don't pay attention. I did. At least I did it at first. Same with the Mario games. Like, I probably played those games 100 times before until my friend told me, "Hey, you know you can do this to get to secret levels, right?" And I'm saying once you start appreciating the game for what it's doing, that's when I consider yourself a true gamer. Because then you get moments like, I don't know how to explain it. Like for me, I never really truly appreciated a game until I beat the first game, before I actually had the identity of self that, hey, a game is meant to be completed, where I was just fucking around doing whatever I want. The first time I beat a video game, I was like, oh shit. And you got that exhilaration of completing the game.
Yeah.
That is your moment as an awakening as a gamer.
I have at least 5 brain cells. I beat this game.
True.
Don't ever think that. Like for me, that was probably the first time a neuron activated, connecting action with success.
All right, so what was that? What was the gaming experience that gave you that moment?
It was this little. I don't even remember the fucking name of this game. You played it as a mech. It was a little tiny little mech on the NES, and all you had to do was get to the other end of the level. You're able to jump up and down from the ceiling and the floor. You can pick up upgrades that give you a shield, shit like that. And that was the first game I ever beat to completion. I don't even remember the name.
Was it is it a side scroller or
Yeah.
was it top to bottom?
Side scroller.
Oh,
Kind of like Mario.
yeah.
But you're able to jump up and down, do all this shit. And that was a game I just fucked around in it. And then I accidentally beat that game. Like, I accidentally finally made it to the end.
Yeah.
And that's when, like, for me, I still remember that moment where everything just clicked. And that's when I started taking gaming way more serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's when after that, I beat Mario for the first time. I started beating fucking, the first Zelda game I had. I started beating every fucking game I had in my collection. Like, I remember that was being the moment I realized that shit's, again, like, I know it sounds dumb, but things started connecting in my head.
Yeah.
I started doing good in school afterwards.
Hey, you got on the honor roll.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a weird question, but what was the most devastating moment for you as a gamer?
Emotional moment like
devastating.
You nearly cried.
Something that fucking just ruined you.
Ruined me, and then did it have to be something in the game?
No, it's just gaming related in general. It doesn't have to be playing a game or in a game, but just in general.
Honestly,
Yeah,
beating Ocarina of Time.
because it was done. It was over.
Done. Everybody gives me flack, but Ocarina of Time was probably the biggest game changer for me. Because that was the first game where my decisions mattered. It's a weird way of saying it. If I didn't go get the giant sword, it made fighting Ganondorf harder when you lost the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Me not doing the fishing shit so I can get stronger boots or stronger health. Me not taking the time to collect the heart thing. I had to restart that game several times. And that moment where I finally beat him was great and shit. But it made me realize I lost that journey. That journey, I will never experience that journey again.
That's true. No matter how many times you play it, you'll never play it the same. It'll never be the same as the first time that you played the game. You know?
No other game has ever done that for me. Ever.
Damn.
Not even Mass Effect.
There's a difference. I can go back and make different changes to get different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that with old school games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very. It was somewhat linear, I guess, is the right term. Man. All right, so then did you answer what's your favorite gaming franchise, or what's your maybe game in general?
My favorite game of all time is going to be Ocarina of Time because of the influence it had on me. But
right.
I have to say favorite franchise, it's either the Bungie Halos or Mass Effect.
And as far as favorite genres, as far as video games go,
Probably sci-fi and fantasy.
sci-fi and fantasy.
Okay.
But I do play a lot of shooters. The game type I play the least would be fighting games because I just don't have the coordination to memorize all the moves and shit.
That's funny because I can't fucking aim.
I've been in the bathroom after you. I know that.
Yeah.
Literal exact opposites in terms of gaming.
Yeah. All right. So does that round us off for the Frank segment for the intros? Or
You got anything else you want to say about yourself, Frank?
I was just answering your guys' questions. So if you're done with me, go.
No, I'm just saying. Do you have any,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily have any other questions off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure as we go around
Yeah,
this,
we'll
round table here
yeah.
that we have assembled, the questions that come up new that we ask each other, will likely be asked of everyone else throughout the thing. You just happen to be the first one.
The Knights of the Game Rage table.
Oh man, that's fucking great. That's good. That's what we
The
should.
Templars.
The Templars of the Game Rage gaming.
Yes.
Of the Game Rage table.
Yeah. All right. All right, Josh, your turn.
All right. So let's see. For me,
Sorry, Adam. You're...
I would say that for me, gaming. I probably started gaming when I was, right around like kindergarten era, maybe a little pre-kindergarten, I guess. That's when I remember. The first game I ever played was a Mario game. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember it was a Mario game. The first game that I ever beat was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo. That was the first fucking game that I ever beat. It was a pain in my ass. It was hard as fuck, and I hated yet loved every minute of it. In terms of types of games or whatever that I play, yeah, I like the sci-fi genre in terms of that, but for me, it's probably mostly first-person shooters, and I do like the real-time strategy genre a lot. Specifically the military-esque real-time strategy games. Those are some shits that I love that shit. And then in terms of franchises, for me, it's probably Halo. Is the Bungie Halos are up there along with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm just a huge fan of history, so I remember playing that first fucking Assassin's Creed game, and I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is so cool. And then playing the second one, shit, we're gonna do a whole episode on fucking Assassin's Creed, so I won't get too fucking deep into the weeds here. Yeah. But those games were fucking awesome, and I remember. I'll answer the devastation question because that's the reason why I asked it, was because I just curious.
I just wanted to ask myself it. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to know what everybody else's was, but
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I don't know why I just this moment popped in my head. Probably because it was the most devastating moment for me as a fucking in my video game career, was when my fucking mom sold my Super Nintendo and all the games at a fucking yard sale for like $40.
That
I just.
To be fair, $40 in 1920s money was pretty high.
I'm sure it was, but a fucking Super Nintendo wasn't cheap either.
No, man, like I could
And the games themselves.
And the reason, I will say this, the reason why she got rid of, made it get rid of, wasn't anything that I did for once. For once, this wasn't actually even my fault. My sister was running around, and I remember we had it on, those old wooden TV things, like it's a station where it's got the TV, there's like some cabinets underneath, and like there's a space on top you can put shit.
Sure, yeah.
It's like a big wooden fucking monstrosity. Weighs like 1,000 fucking tons.
Yeah,
Those
right.
things are huge. So I had the Super Nintendo was on the top of that. and then the controllers, like the wires came down from the top. So she was like running and like ran across and got her foot stuck, and the console came down and cracked her right on the head, right with the edge of the fucking Super Nintendo, and caused her to need to get stitches. So my mom was like, "Oh no, this thing has to go. This is the devil."
It wasn't directly
Oh.
related to the Super Nintendo,
None.
like the violence.
Nope, nothing. It was because
wasn't-
well, maybe the violence, because it literally beat my sister.
Yeah.
And therefore she had to go fucking get, stitches or whatever.
But it wasn't Doom. Like
No, it wasn't anything. It wasn't like a game made her fucking get rid of it. No, it was because it attacked my sister. And it had to go. And oddly enough, after being violently torn from the top of a TV stand and then whacking a person in the skull, the Super Nintendo was fine. Still worked after that. Like a champ. Took it like a champ. Didn't even fucking have any issues. Now, if that were to happen to my Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, I'm sure it would end up in a million fucking
Oh my
pieces.
god, dude.
But
And-
to be fair, if it would have been the Switch, it'd probably be fine though.
That's true. The Switch would probably be fine.
Yeah, there's something about
Nintendo products, man. They know what the fuck they're doing.
old consoles,
the whole
man.
reason behind the GameCube was the whole reason the design was to this day I believe it's still the strongest console, because the way about it was designed to be a cube, because no matter what direction it fell, the pressure would be perfectly
Like
Distributed.
distributed around the whole console, and they were corner heavy, so it would always land on a corner.
Damn, man. That's genius in engineering. Fuck.
But it was constantly the one that was made fun of the most.
Honestly, some of my fondest memories are playing GameCube games, man. Like, everybody gave it shit, but I mean, fuck Super Mario. I mean, listen, maybe I should get made fun of for enjoying Super Mario Sunshine, but man, I fucking love that game, dude.
everybody loves
I
that
fucking
game.
love that game. Fucking dude, playing what is it? The Medal of Honor. Was it the Pacific one?
Yeah, Middle One, the Rising Sun.
Yeah, that one was fucking awesome as shit.
Resident Evil 4 was the first
yeah.
game that was
Same here.
it was on the GameCube itself, not anywhere else. It was
Yeah.
exclusive to fucking GameCube, which is crazy because I mean,
Not to mention that was also the Smash Brothers that had. Remember that was the console war Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Not Smash Brothers, Soul
Oh,
Calibur,
Soul Calibur, yeah.
where each console had its very own character. Well, had
Yeah.
its own unique characters.
yeah,
Yeah, fucking I think PlayStation
Was,
Heihachi.
Heihachi from Tekken, GameCube
another
or
one there,
Xbox, yeah.
Spawn.
Xbox, yeah, Spawn. Well, Spawn was on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
And then shit, who was on GameCube? Was
Link.
it,
GameCube was
Link.
Link?
Link
Oh,
and
that's right.
somebody else.
Yeah.
PlayStation was Spawn and
No, Spawn.
No,
Spawn was
on
Xbox.
no, Xbox had Darth Vader and Yoda.
No, that was Soul Calibur 4.
Yeah, that was 4. Soul
that
Calibur
was the-
3
Yeah,
or 2. Was it 2 we're talking about?
Soul Calibur 2 had Yeah, so they had 3 different versions. It was Link was on Nintendo, obviously. Heihachi was on PS2. Xbox was Spawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that differently.
Well, when we do the fighting game one, we'll have to do a deep dive and find out exactly what the exclusive characters were. Or Adam could just look it up right now, I guess. But anyways, I've been gaming for fucking probably, now granted, not in the sense of Frank, but I've been playing games for fucking close to probably 30 years now, right? So I've been through Super Nintendo, N64.
You didn't go through the Nintendo?
I never owned an original Nintendo. The Super Nintendo was the first console that I ever had. Because no one in my family, like I was the oldest, so like I didn't have any older brothers or sisters or anybody that had that type of shit to like pass it down. My parents didn't know shit about gaming. Honestly, I don't even know how I even convinced them to get me the fucking Super Nintendo. I mean, I don't even think they really knew what it was or understood what it was. Because I remember playing Duck Hunt with the fucking rocket launcher, the rocket launcher thing. I got the rocket launcher from somebody for Christmas. And I think they just gave it to me because it was like an extra gift, but I didn't actually own the Super Nintendo. And so then I think my parents obviously waited until a year later when it was my birthday. And then eventually, I think that's when I got the Super Nintendo. So I had this fucking rocket launcher for Super Nintendo. It looks like an RPG, and it's like the fucking light gun attachment for it, and you can play duck hunt and all that shit with it. And that was the first piece of like equipment that I remember having, but I didn't have the actual fucking console to go with it.
Yeah.
And so then like the next year, I get my parents. I think that's when they got me the actual Super Nintendo. And then I was like, oh, hey, this is cool. But yeah, so I didn't have anybody to like, have any experience with playing it. I had just basically heard from obviously commercials on cartoons, watching the commercials for the Super whatever, so the Nintendo games and whatnot. And then also hearing from people that I knew that had the gaming consoles and played like video games, quote unquote, when I was a kid. That was kind of how I like, got into it, I guess. And it made, obviously, you want shit. Oh, God. What?
Yeah, I heard that too.
What was it?
It was your daughter.
Katie's up there.
Well, anyways,
Anyways, that'd be fine. So, basically,
On that note,
Where was
what
I?
was the thing that got you out of gaming?
me?
I was listening to you talking about Willie.
Oh yeah, it's called, yeah. Well, no, I mean, I still play games, not as much as I would like to. That's something that, I don't know, maybe as we get older, it doesn't have to go away. Because I think that's kind of what happened with like our parents, or at least my parents. Because my dad kind of, he played Atari, a little bit back in the day. He kind of knew what they were, but had no idea over the 20 years since he had played video games, what they had kind of turned into or become, and how advanced, quote unquote, I guess they had become, right? So he just grew out of it. I think they just saw video games as a phase. I think us as the...
They say that, and it's literally the biggest industry in entertainment.
that's an interesting point because for them it was like back then it was like a novelty, right?
Right,
To have
yeah.
that type of thing, but now like gaming is so integrated with people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it's
Yeah.
the biggest the biggest part of the entertainment industry. You can put the film and music industry together, and they still make less money than the fucking gaming industry.
I mean, shit. They also do more things like the consistency of, I guess, like game releases and.
I don't know. There's some games that take 10 years to come out to Starfield.
But I mean, the consistency in games that are released versus the movies that are released. Like it's. I mean, how often are movies released on a month alone? Like it's maybe
Well, if you look
maybe,
at franchise specifically,
yeah.
it's like several years. Whereas some video games are pumping them out every other. Well, Madden, they pump that out every year.
Yeah. Or,
So,
All the sports games are like that.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I mean, Assassin's Creed was doing it pretty
That's part of
consistently.
it was the downfall of it.
True, but they were still releasing shit more often and still making more money because of that.
That's not the way it is nowadays.
Sure, yeah, now it's not, but
And that's nowadays is where that industry is at that point.
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well,
So
anyways.
well, yeah, so that's kind of where that's how I see like us, the millennial generation, I guess, for lack of a better term. I feel like we're the first generation that has continued playing games through into our adulthood, and even in probably, I mean, for me, regardless of how often or how much gaming I actually get to do, I'm still a lifelong gamer. Like, I'm gonna play games probably till I die, more than likely. I mean, I am definitely going to play fucking video games till I die. In my 80s or 90s or 100s or whenever the fuck we go, however long our life expectancy becomes, I will be playing fucking games till I die, more than likely.
Right.
And I think we're the first generation that really 100% is like that now. And I think obviously subsequently going forward, that's kind of how every other generation is going to be after us. So, it's interesting to note the difference between us and our parents, I guess, and how they didn't get it. I still don't think that. I still think my dad thinks it's a phase. He'll eventually just grow out of playing those games.
$618 billion industry right now,
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. So,
and all of that is Sony.
yeah. Anyway, what else? You guys got any other questions in terms of that? No? All right. Well, Adam, let's hear about you. What do you got? What do you got for us?
Yeah. So my earliest experiences with gaming were very briefly going to arcades to play Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter, and my first consoles were the NES and Super Nintendo. There was always this one game I could never fucking play when you're talking about equipment that you didn't have.
Yeah.
There's this one fucking game on NES called Gyromite, and you needed the fucking Rob.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rob
shit.
bot.
Yeah, that's right.
because he needed to do something so that
He was the player too, and like he picked up these gyroscopes, put them on these things, and they were the A, B, left, right buttons.
whatever the fuck it was, it like because Gyromite he had.
If you ever get a chance, what's his name? The Angry Video Game Nerd. He did a really good video on him.
On Gyromite?
Yeah, and all the games that he was supposed to work with.
Oh no, Rob.
You're talking about Rob the bot, the NES bot. But yeah, that was one game that we had that like I couldn't fucking play. It always bothered me that I couldn't.
I had one like that for me. It was Donkey Kong on the N64 because I didn't have the memory expansion.
Oh right, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that was the rare fuck up on that one. They made the game. Nintendo had to fix their fuck up by offering the memory expansion system
With it, yeah. Damn.
Personally, I would say the genre that I probably enjoy the most is fighting games because I mean, shit, I don't know. I had this obsession with arcades and the one-on-one aspect of it, the 1v1 competition or whatever. It always appealed to me because in a system like a battle royale for let's say Fortnite or PUBG or anything else like or even Call of Duty, where it's like team. I know it's not the proper name, but like Team Slayer, a team killing mode or
team deathmatch,
team deathmatch, right? There's too many there's too many variables to find out who's the best. Sure, there's going to be somebody that's head and shoulders above everybody else that can kill people, right? But there's still a lot that can go wrong. Like you get hit by a fucking random grenade or somebody snipes you or fucking camps in the corner and they just wait for you to spawn. But fighting games like. It's a chess match. It's rock, paper, scissors plus chess with fists and kicks and projectiles and all that stuff. So that's what I always appreciate about fighting games is you knew who was better.
Right, yeah.
Instantly because it's 1v1. And the franchise that started it all for me, I would have to probably say is Street Fighter 2. Probably regarded as the most important fighting game of all fighting games. And I play that thing to fucking death. It's a franchise I still love, and there's Mortal Kombat. If you're Mexican, I'm sure you went to Mexican supermarkets where they had arcade cabinets where Mortal Kombat and Fatal Fury. That's how I got introduced into SNK.
The first arcade I ever went to was in Mexico in Rosarito. It was really down the street from my aunt's house, and they had like, what was that game called? Where the planes like this.
Oh, 1942?
Yeah,
1942. No, it wasn't the historical one. It was the sci-fi one.
Oh, Galaga?
No, it had like updated graphics and shit.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it had that game and they had this fighting game, but it was like there was all weapons based. Mm-hmm. So like there was a samurai with a katana.
Oh, Samurai Showdown?
Maybe because there was only one samurai in there.
Yeah. Yeah, there was. I mean, shit. That was those Neo Geo cabinets were fucking badass because they had like. I think that's why Mexicans have an affinity for SNK games like King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, because Neo Geo cabinets had 4 games in one. Yeah. So it would have like fucking. And sometimes it wouldn't even have anything that was directly related to SNK or whatever. It would be like fucking Bubble Bobble.
Yeah,
like,
those little bubble guys with the little.
Which is called like it's called Bust a Move in the U.S. But it had Fatal Fury, or it would have Samurai Showdown with like Haomaru, which is like the main character. So you put a quarter in, you can play any. And then they had like the Japanese SNK had like a baseball game that was also equally as cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think fighting games was just something that I was just obsessed with that I still continue to. It still captivates me. And if there was a moment, if you're talking about like the tragic moments in video games, man, Metal Gear Solid 3 when Boss dies at the end. And
that's what she was Big Boss, and then Boss killed her and became
Big Boss, right? Yeah. And yeah, that scene.
She was a hero. She was a patriot.
That part, it's not even so much like, okay, the fight's great and everything, like all that part's great, but just
look at the line. Look at the line we always try to shoehorn into every podcast we do.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Yeah. It's just kind of like the gravity of the situation because you went through this whole journey and Boss like prepared you for basically this encounter because it was inevitable. You knew you were going to fight her at the end, but it's just like the moment of holding the gun because you can pull it at any moment, but you're just like, this. I can't. There's no other way out of this, and you just kind of just sitting there like, motherfuck.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, that shit sucked.
Oh, yeah.
So
No, I
Metal
agree,
Gear Solid
yeah.
3 is probably the most impactful, tragic
Best
moment.
game out of that whole franchise.
My personal favorite, and now that they're gonna redo it, remake it, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking
without
sweet.
Hideo, though.
Huh?
But it's without Hideo, so.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have David Hayter doing the voice work, but he was doing the promos for the game, so maybe.
Maybe. I mean, that would imply it probably is what they're gonna do with it.
All right, so I'll keep it.
No, they're gonna do the industry standard to have Chris Pratt do them.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, dude. Fuck, he's fucking Garfield, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
That bothers me, but whatever. Anyways, enough about me. Let's get to the Monster Hunter God himself.
Let's get to the man, the myth, the legend,
You really gotta go with that cliche.
the Rubidon.
The Rubidon, the God.
So now Rubidon, while superior to us in Monster Hunter fucking lore and gameplay, is younger than we are. So we're all in our mid 30s. What? How old are you, Rubidon?
22.
22. Quite a young man compared to us old bastards. So tell us, what was your first experience you remember in gaming?
First experience in gaming. What started the introduction to me in the gaming was probably my father, because he had the whole what was the one Nintendo game that had the controller that had 3 handles on it?
The N64 and the Hertz had
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it does hurt that you had to ask that, but yes.
Yeah.
What's the one that had the 3 handles, old man?
So you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no worries. I was just gonna interject real quickly. So you remember how in Star Wars it was like 30 years since fucking the Empire took over and like
Right.
the Rebel Alliance was getting started and everything.
yeah.
It is definitely possible that people forgot about Jedis and shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
30 years, man. That's all it took.
That's a long
It's funny that
time.
you bring up Star Wars because it was his dad that introduced me to Star Wars.
What, super fucking Empire Strikes Back?
No, he's
No,
the
in
one
Star
that
Wars.
got me
Oh,
into Star
okay.
Wars.
Oh, I
okay.
gotcha.
I thought you were talking about the game.
Anyway, so continue.
So, yeah, so that console, PlayStation 2, and the Xbox 360. So it's just been, so I started just be watching them playing, see all these different games, and then sometimes I'll just test them out myself. But
All the games we just talked about, he probably wasn't even alive for them yet.
No, because you were born in what, 2001?
yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I think that might have just been
So-
the cutoff point for Metal Gear Solid 3.
No. When did Metal Gear Solid 3 come out?
I think it came out in
I think Metal
2004 or
Gear-
5.
Yeah, I think Metal Gear Solid 2 came out in 01. Because I remember playing that in 7th grade.
Actually, I think it came out in
Or eighth
2003 or yeah, it's 2003, 4, or 5. One of those 3 years.
For 3.
Yeah, for 3.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just saying, like, yours was the latest game out of the ones we talked about, and he was barely alive for those.
That's true. That is true. So anyway, so you started out kind of cutting your teeth with Nintendo 64 as your what was considered your classic
The
console.
consoles he started off with were the ones we probably first bought with our own money.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that was the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
PS3.
PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3.
Yeah, those really those were the first ones I bought. Yeah, with my own money as
360 was the first one I bought with my money.
Yeah. So what games do you remember playing on those
Let's see.
that were your
Wait, but
intro games? You know.
He didn't even finish the question.
What?
Because he was talking about the N64 and
Oh yeah.
Oh,
let him finish.
Give me the rest. Yeah, give me the rest.
Yeah, so yeah, this is all the consoles that my dad had.
Yeah.
I went through each one, just trying out different games that I liked, and
It's funny when him growing up, especially with his nieces and his mom. A lot of times they would do is just chill in the living room and watch his dad play video games,
yeah,
That's
especially the God of War games.
yeah, and the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
And yeah, I played a lot of the God of War after I aged up a bit, and then let's see, mostly played Halo as well. I think it was either Halo or either a Sonic game or a Spyro game on the Nintendo DS. That was my first game that I ever beat. That's making me like you guys call a gamer.
Yeah.
And favorite franchise, I would have to say again, like the Bungie, the Halo, because that's what got me into the Xbox consoles. Because I just loved Halo. Something about it just clicked with me, so I just got stuck along with that franchise. because I played Halo 2 a lot, Halo Reach, and then Halo 4, and then until finally when the collection came out, I got so hooked into that to try to make sure I can complete all of it because I can see what I missed out, like in Halo CE and 3.
I mean, I will say that it was the game that started the Halo franchise, but it wasn't the first Halo I played. The first Halo game I played was Halo 2.
Uh-huh.
And me going into Halo Combat Evolved before Halo 3 came out, it wasn't a pleasant experience.
Yeah, it's a very different experience.
Yeah, the jump from 1 and 2 they're like two whole different games.
Yeah.
So, because of the fact that you were born well after the time of the peak of Halo, like the online experience, because you were able to purchase the Master Collection, you said it was?
Yes.
Yeah,
The Master Chief
So, were
Collection,
you
that was-
able, because, a big part, I mean, I didn't really care for Halo itself. I mean, the friends that I had at the time, or rather continue to have, the only capacity that I cared for Halo was Blood Gulch, like Team Deathmatch or Capture the Flag.
Yeah,
all
play
that shit.
multiplayer, yeah.
So, did you get to experience that with like Halo 1? Did you get to do that map, Blood Gulch, with Team Deathmatch or even Capture the Flag? Any of those modes, were you able to experience that?
Unfortunately, because since most of my entire time playing games, I've just been alone, so I never had any people to play online with until I eventually met my best friend, who I started playing Halo Online around like Halo 4 or Halo 5 maps online. That's when I started playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you never got to revisit, or not even revisit, but you didn't even get to experience the earliest maps or the online aspect of that. So, okay.
All right, you guys, I have an idea.
What?
All right.
No.
He never got to fucking experience the glory that was playing fucking Blood Gulch or whatever,
Or Coagulation.
or Coagulation on fucking Halo 2.
And then Halo 2 was just Valhalla.
Yeah.
The best attempt at it.
Yeah, I think that was their best recreation of it. Since he never got to play that and experience it, I remember, and I don't know if you guys did this, but I remember setting up like LAN parties. Do you guys remember? Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. I think what we should do is we should find some original Xboxes, maybe 2 we could get away with, because they're probably expensive. And we should get 2 copies. Well, I have my original copy of Halo Combat Evolved still. Maybe we should get another copy of it. And maybe we should set up a LAN party and let him experience what a multiplayer LAN party was like for the first time.
Yeah.
Because there's just something about when you are in the room and you're sharing a screen with somebody and you can see what they're doing. Like, you can see what the fuck is going on. And yeah, you're not supposed to. But there is something about maybe when you get a little bit behind, you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to see where they're at. I'm gonna. There's just a whole other aspect of doing it. And then also, you're there in person, too. So
Talking
the
shit.
shit talking, the extraordinary amount of fun that actually doesn't have anything to do with the game itself that is had from those type of things. Like, you kind of missed out on that because your generation, you guys mainly...
Not really, because he grew up in the Modern Warfare era.
Bro, they played online. That was all usually online. Like, the couch co-op or couch
Like, I'm just
multiplayer kind of went away.
I'm just saying, nobody is worried about recordings of them playing couch co-op being leaked. Everyone's worried about the Modern Warfare chats being leaked.
I mean, that's true, but that's because all that's obviously recorded. But
It's a lot of his generation first got experience to the N-word through that freaking game.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did. I'm sure
That's
they did.
that's such a funny thing to bring up, but I mean, not the
Modern Warfare 2
yeah.
lobbies were so fucking toxic. It turned an entire generation into what we have now.
Yeah, I don't. That's fucking. I don't know, man. That's
That is true. But that's why I'm saying we should let him experience the wholesome, non-government surveilled glory that was the LAN party.
for the record. We won't be saying the N word.
No, yeah, we're not gonna. I mean, that's not. Yeah, for the record, that's not the point. This is gonna be good, wholesome shit talking. Talking about his mom. Maybe about how he's got a tiny dick. I don't know. I mean, we'll just be talking shit about each other, obviously.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I think we should do that. I think we should set that up, and then we should make that like a video
Yeah.
of him documenting him getting to experience that for the first time, because it is a completely different experience than playing online. Like, to me, online will never fucking be as good as just having your buddies and just being in a fucking in the same room or in two separate rooms.
Oh yeah, you could taste the salt, dude.
Oh, you can taste like the feuds that were created from fucking LAN parties would still exist to this day if LAN parties were still a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think we should do that. I think we should get that going. What do you guys
I think
say?
that's the reason why you never seen family co-op games, because it ends families. Kind of like how Monopoly did that, Uno, and then now, I don't know if you saw the new Uno that came out.
No, there's a new one.
Yeah, the lowest number on there is +10.
Oh Jesus! What is there like 700 cards in the deck?
And if you add the stack rule, dude, Jesus.
Oh fuck,
Yeah,
you're
fuck.
done, man. You're never recovering from that shit.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, so wait, did he answer the question? What was the original question? I don't even remember.
It was just,
Oh, because I was asking him if he experienced the Halo,
right, the
the
Halo.
first proper Halo with the first proper map, which was Blood Gulch, because
Right.
he was
So-
born a little after that. So I don't even know if that was a thing
now we're
online.
gonna launch Halo's multiplayer. Also launched the careers of fucking Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, that is true. So have you actually played the original Halo in its original graphical content? Because on the Master Chief Collection, you can go back and play it as
original.
right. You can do that.
You can do
Yeah,
it.
you can change. Yeah, you can change to original graphics or their remaster
Okay, yeah.
graphics for the first game and the second game.
So have you played it in the remastered mode at all?
Remastered and original.
Oh, okay. Well, probably because you wanted to get all the achievements, right? So I'm sure there's an achievement for being in the remastered mode or the original mode, right?
Well, no, you can change in the middle of the gameplay. It doesn't change the game at all. It was just the visual.
Yeah, it was just the graphics.
Oh no, there was one change because with the remaster, they had this stupid thing because like in Halo CE, when you change it to the remastered version, some of the things were like they looked smaller, but they had kept the old I'm gonna say polygons or skeletons of the walls.
So their hitboxes were bigger.
No, so the hitbox was the same. So some like let's say some pillars were made smaller in the remastered, but it kept the same skeleton as the old game. So even though you could see the enemy past the pillar, you were hitting the wall of the old pillar in the old game.
Oh, okay, I get you.
So it was better just more advantage-wise to play in the old graphics because since you could actually see where the corner was instead of accidentally just hitting a wall.
That's interesting. But anyways, we'll have to rock that and fucking so you can experience it because it's fun. And then we'll have to get because I still have my original copy of Halo 2 as well. And man, those Halo 2 maps, fucking some of those multiplayer ones changed the game. But anyways, we could deep dive into Halo on a whole nother fucking thing. So let's get back to you and your gaming history, I guess. So you told us about what you already, how you got started into gaming and your early adoptions of experiences, I guess you could say, of gaming. What is your favorite franchise that you have? Like, what's one of your top?
Favorite franchises.
Obviously, I probably know the answer because, but.
Well, look, as I said, yeah, I mean, played through as many Halo games as I can, including the Halo War games. And
What do you think about them bringing back the bad guy from Halo Wars 2 to somehow be the bad guy in Halo? What's the other
Infinite? Isn't it Infinite?
That shit was fucking stupid as fuck.
well, I never got I never actually played Halo Wars 2 because since I just thought, I don't know, because I heard it was this whole card system and everything about it. It's just,
Yeah, the card system was stupid, but the main bad guy, it was fucking weird. The main bad guy,
Atriox, right?
Atriox,
Yeah.
destroys the Infinity and throws Master Chief out the thing in Infinity.
Yeah.
And he ends up fighting the guy who taught him how to fight, is the main bad guy through the rest of the game. He's just, I am Atriox, whatever. Blah, I defeated Master Chief. Bye. Go fight this old fuck instead.
Yeah, and it just makes a reappearance at the end of the game for a cutscene. That's it.
Yeah, he just did a cutscene in the beginning, and then I think they killed the fucking, because they haven't done shit with Halo except
Nah.
for multiplayer shit.
Yeah. So anyway, so Halo's up there. Give me some other of your top franchises that you enjoy.
Franchises. Let's see. Well, that would be Monster Hunter.
Fuck yeah, that's what I
let's
wanted to
see.
hear.
What other ones were?
I mean, you're only leading the witness or whatever.
What was another franchise? Oh yeah, God of War. Yeah, I played pretty much almost every
Yeah.
God of War.
Botched the one for,
Yeah,
and the PS5, 4,
yeah,
back when it was the new console.
yeah. And I also love the Assassin's Creed series. They were very fun.
Yeah, those are legit. We do all enjoy those. What would you? Okay, now let me ask you this. Now, so you've played every console, right? You played Nintendo, you've played PlayStation, you played Xbox of the modern consoles, right? What's your top? What's your favorite one that you enjoy playing on the most?
And if you don't answer this right, I will disown you.
I played mostly the Xbox.
Okay, I mean that was the right answer for the record. I know Adam will probably differ.
Nah, I'm not really a console
Snob.
I'm not really a console
It's all
zealot.
about the PC master race.
if I had one, but
Yeah.
I always like that old the joke that they also was like, "Oh, PC is better than Xbox." Yeah, but it's your PC better than Xbox.
yeah, I mean, I'm not really it's wherever Street Fighter is. That's where I'm going. But yeah, I did pick a PS5. But anyways, continue.
Well, just out of curiosity, was there a reason why you picked the PS5 over an Xbox?
I don't remember. I think it's just because I had a PS4 before. I'm like, just fucking
so you just
go with the
upgraded.
PS5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, I get you. All right. Okay, so you're,
The exclusives maybe. Like
Yeah.
I don't have Spider-Man, but if I did, then yes, Spider-Man.
you
would
could
be.
play it if you had it, if you
yeah,
wanted to.
yeah.
The
The
option is there.
PlayStation has that I'm interested in is God of War and the Ghost of was it?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
Ghost
game
of
is fucking
Tsushima.
sweet, man. I wouldn't say that I have. I mean, obviously Xbox is my favorite go-to, but like I'm not so much where I'm going to be like, oh, I'm not going to buy anything else other than an Xbox. I mean, I own all of them, so
Yeah.
and I'll always own all of the consoles. Like that's just what I do. I purchase every console that's available so that I can play everything potentially that's available.
No, that's not true. You didn't get the Xbox One X.
Yes, I did. I still have it upstairs.
No, you had the Xbox One.
No, I have the Xbox One X too.
That was the one you never bought because remember it was like they announced it and then 2 weeks later they announced the Xbox Series and you're like, oh, I'm maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, in that sense, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking. I mean, like, I'll have every current console of the big three, I guess. And if there was to be a fourth company that came around and put out a new console, I'd probably buy it.
The
you
Google
didn't?
Stadia, dude.
All right, now, granted,
you didn't buy
but-
the Amazon one.
Okay, hold on. The Amazon. Don't,
You
those
didn't buy Soldier Boys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Though. Those were not offering me anything different. It was just the same shit I could play on everything else by just a different medium. I'm talking about a whole nother fucking console that has exclusive fucking franchises that they're making. I would buy that.
Yeah.
No fucking questions asked. If Sega decided that, Nintendo fucking owns that shit now, right? If they decided they wanted to make Sega Genesis 2000 or make a new version of it with exclusive games, I would
the
immediately
Dreamcast
buy it. Oh, fuck. Dreamcast 2, I'm in. All in. Fucking, I will buy the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's back to,
I kind of let's check ourselves a little bit.
okay, sure.
This guy should be the focal point.
You're right,
My
you're
brother's
right.
my brother's in Kratos. I need this guy to fucking talk like
You're right.
the majority
You're
of the episode. Let's make it
All right,
happen.
let's shut the fuck up now
Yeah.
and let him talk. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll just ask the question.
So his fascinations at the moment, to recap,
Yeah.
are Monster Hunter, the Assassin's Creed, or rather
Halos.
the Halos. But yeah, what's your current flavor? What's your current flavor right now? Is it currently Monster Hunter?
Yes, when I have time, I try to play Monster Hunter, and then recently, with my friend, we've been getting to Dying Light too. And from time to time, I also try to just play some Ark in the meantime.
Ark, is that the dinosaur game?
Yes.
Are they on the second one now? Arc 2?
No, they released an updated version called Ark Survival Ascended for the PC on the PC, and eventually it's gonna be on console. Basically, it's just the current Ark game, but like more, like lots of more highly detailed graphics, a few new dinosaurs and new features as well. So it's basically because Ark's been on what's the word I'm looking for? Game. It was like game review or something. I can't find the word for it. Like when they release a game, like early access. Ark's been pretty much early access the entire time for like several years.
I was gonna ask right now, like, isn't that game the game that's famous for being constantly in beta?
Yeah, and it's just been constantly using updates and like just new dinosaurs or whatever. And then this new updated version is basically the near complete version of Ark.
But it's still in beta, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's been out it's like Star Citizen. It's been out for like 10 years, but it's still in beta.
Or Escape from Tarkov, if anybody plays that.
Everybody that has a computer plays that game. That game was like fucking everybody had a hot fever for that game.
Yeah, true. So have you had any devastating moments that have been just difficult for you in terms of gaming?
I'll probably say the most devastating moment I've ever had in gaming would be probably the my all my DSs just stopped working because since all the old games that I managed to grow up with that started me off because just I can't play anymore because everything doesn't work anymore. It doesn't charge, and if it does manage to do it, it doesn't play the games anymore.
Yeah, but you can get that shit fixed. There's people that mod them and shit that can get them to work.
But the closest thing next to that is probably beating one of the From Software games because my first one for From Software was Elden Ring, and oh my god, it was just so beautiful. It was good because I don't know. So that game was just beautiful to me, and then when it ended, it's like
So when anyone ever tells me they like a game from Software, like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, or Elden Ring, or what was the other one? Sekiro, and then Bloodborne. Anytime anyone, whether it be a YouTube gamer, anyone tells me that they like those games, I'm like, oh, so that guy's a masochist. Okay.
yeah, they're hard. But once you start like learning the game, it gets a little easier, and it's just
The game is fun once you figure out every trick in that game. Once you figure that out, then the game becomes playable. The games are meant to be the hardest fucking thing you've ever played.
Yeah, then after Elden Ring, it was Dark Souls 3, because after beating that one and realizing the importance of the final boss, how it was related to the very first boss, and how it's just like a combination of all, pretty much how the players turn into one, which is a nice little story ending, which is knowing that I beat one of the hardest games. Like
Kind of like, Destiny? Remember the first Destiny game? Where you had to find cards in the game,
Yeah.
and then go to the website,
The Grimoire?
to learn
Yeah.
the stories. It was kind of like that, where the game doesn't tell you the story. The extended stuff of the game tells you the story.
Oh, you got to go figure that shit out
Yeah.
now, basically.
yeah, same thing with From Software, the Dark Souls, because like every piece of item in the game has lore, like every single item, like armor, shields, rings, weapons.
Except for that stupid ring, right? That's that ring that you can get when you first play the game, and it tells you, oh, pick one of these 3 items that can help you in your journey. And one of the items is, it's a ring of no value, and it seems to be useless. And everybody picks it because, it's got to have some kind of hidden thing. It's supposed to give you a boost or something, and then at the end of the game, no, it was just a useless piece of ring.
Yeah, I get you. What would you say that gaming means to you?
What gaming means to me? What it means to me is just, I can say whatever interests you, just go have fun with it. Just do whatever you want. Just don't listen to anyone else's shit. Just do what you want. Just have fun with it.
Yeah.
You play your way. Do what interests you. Yeah.
I got you. What would you say gaming is in terms of? Would you say gaming for you is, as an example, is it a stress reliever? Is it a, is it just to pass time? Is it you're looking for an experience? Like, what do you personally get out of the experience of playing video games?
The three you mentioned were just pretty much it. Yeah, because to help release some stress, it helps pass the time, and you just for a whole new experience. Like either getting a new game or playing a game with new plus, or just trying a different build on a game that lets you do different things.
Okay, and would you say that you get a certain feeling of accomplishment when you're playing the games?
Yes.
Okay, so that was a yes or no question. I shouldn't have fucking asked that. I'm terrible at this.
He just literally told you about how he likes playing the From Software games, so he gets
Right.
achievements for it.
So do you think? No, that's a fucking shitty way to phrase that question. Go ahead, Adam. Do you have any questions? While
I do.
Yeah, go ahead. Please do.
'cause-
Please fucking do.
Yeah, I have many
ton.
things I
Yeah,
want to
go
get
ahead.
at. All right, so I think one of the benefits of playing video games is having the community aspect, right?
Yeah.
So has there been, or rather, what have been your experiences with the community aspect of gaming, whether that's through Monster Hunter, whether that's through the Call of Duty franchise. What are some experiences that you've had through the gaming community that you met friends, you got taught how to beat a specific like monster in Monster Hunter through one of your homies? What are your experiences through the gaming community that you've had?
The experiences have been all good because I met several good people online who like helped me get along with games that I just started just fresh in, just learning some things and until I started going on my own. And yeah, it's just everyone I met has been so good. I mean, I haven't gotten into those Modern Warfare games or Xbox Live on 360 for Halo, so I haven't met any of those toxic players yet.
Right. And what are the modes in which you guys communicate? Is it through Discord or because you're talking about, let's say you're pulling information together, right? A Discord server would allow you to create channels and stuff. So do you have a Discord with your friends that you kind of pull information for, like for strategies or things like that, or even just hanging out and talking about the game itself or stuff like that?
Yeah, just recently I just got on the Discord server with my friend for Destiny 2 and just started bringing people in together for like raids and stuff. Just talk shit and stuff.
And how has that experience affected, say, Monster Hunter? Have you, because I know there's kind of like a raid aspect to Monster Hunter, right? So you can go with a pool of people to go after a monster. Do you have a posse that you roll with to fucking get down on some fucking monsters and shit? Like, do you have a crew that you do you go with for Monster Hunter?
No, because I've been mainly playing solo because the challenge of it when I'm playing solo instead of in a party is more fun to me.
Okay, all right.
But I have been hoping for some like my best friend and maybe in case if I ever want to, like invite some Discord members as well. Because again, like the purpose of the game, it is a heart hunt in a party. It's also a fun aspect of it, which I want to test out.
Yeah, and what to you is the most captivating part? Because is it one of your favorite franchises, Monster Hunter itself?
Oh yes, it is one of my favorite franchises.
All right, so what are the aspects of the game itself that is so captivating to you, that draw your attention, that make you love the game itself?
It's designed on its realistic fiction, as you can say, because when they design their monsters or the environment and everything, it's a fictional world, but it's based on the realistic things in our world as well. Like how it describes how they use certain sacks and for their breaths, or like how it's like a certain poison that works in a certain way different on the species. And then because the designs for them are cool, and they're also very point on to the species naming, because it's like a whole different, because they're all called, most of the monsters are wyverns, but they all have like different classes of wyverns. So like the main class of them are flying wyverns. So like the main ones you see in fantasy, 2 legs and then like wings. Then there's like brute wyverns. Think of them just like giant T-Rex looking creatures that just like ran through everything with force, hence the name brute wyverns. Got fanged ones, got fanged wyverns. So like think of them like reptiles that walk like on 4 legs. So like think of them like drakes. Fanged wyverns are like drakes that act like mammals, pretty much. And then you're just so on just whole different many different classifications that just works in their own special way and in a realistic way too, which is just it's always so captivating.
As far as like so you're talking about the monsters and stuff themselves. What about the combat system? Are there any parts that you like or don't like?
Interject real quick. You know how we were talking about how when we first played Mario, there was nothing. We figured it out through instinct. One thing I always thought was interesting is with Monster Hunter, there's no tutorial at all.
Oh yeah, because ever since like after the first game, it's just no.
It expects you to know what you're doing. So it's a game that starts off on a hard curve already, as Josh learned when he first tried to get into it.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I'm too dumb to play those games.
Oh, shit. So, all right, man. Now I got to ask, what are some of your... Because for you beating the game, right, is there a definitive end to the game itself?
Yes. For all the Monster Hunter games, there are like the because you can see definitive endings, but they're always usually unlocked. I guess you could say in extra DLC.
Okay, all right.
Because like Monster Hunter is a weird thing of you complete the story by buying the DLC. So there is story for the main game, but the full story is in the next DLC that comes out.
I see. And for you, is there for the Monster Hunter fanatics, is there something that you can hang your hat on? Like, I beat this boss in X amount of minutes, or like, there's got to be some kind of tough boss that you.
What's your like major, like your biggest accomplishment?
Yeah.
You would say in Monster Hunter.
Let's see, my biggest accomplishment. So far, it's just beating these arc tempered monsters because I haven't gotten to Iceborne yet because I'm like in the with a high rank for Monster Hunter World. I haven't gotten to Iceborne yet because I'm stuck in this arc tempered Nergigante, which when I do beat will be my biggest accomplishment because that motherfucker is annoyingly difficult solo, especially in a great sword user because we hit slow.
Right.
And I'm still trying to figure out the best way. Because despite being a big guy, he moves fast. He's hard to read. He hits hard, and has like one hit moves, and then eventually moves that become one hit depending how long the fight goes on.
Meaning like they're one hit kills, or like they could be that damaging.
Yeah. He always has this one move that's always a one hit, and then eventually during a point in the fight, some of his moves may become one hit because he just eventually just randomly gets stronger. So like a normal attack that you can usually take will eventually become a one hit attack once he buffs himself up.
And how often? Because you're usually not going to get that first encounter, right? Where you fight a boss, and I mean, you're probably going to get killed in the first round. So, like on average, how much time does it usually take you, or how many times does it usually take you before you get the patterns down, and like what spots you have to evade at, or things like that? How many times do you think you end up fighting a boss before you start getting the attack patterns and stuff?
I would probably say maybe 4 to 5 times because not only are you trying to learn the patterns of a monster, you're trying to learn the patterns of a monster that comes in different sizes. Because in the new thing with Monster Hunter World, they come in new sizes. So sometimes they're bigger than usual. Sometimes they're smaller than usual. So that's where the whole new system called small crown and big crown hunting comes in. So that is a competition of trying to find and hunt the smallest version of the monster, and also trying to find and hunt the biggest version of the monster. So they have their attacks have new ranges. They hit to take a point as well. So it just changes with every hunt.
I don't know if you've ever seen those memes of people talking about like playing video games and like, I beat it, we beat the boss, and then how far it goes from green to red and it starts over again, as in it's the boss's second stage.
Yeah.
That was those memes were always about Monster Hunter.
Oh, really?
Because in Final Fantasy that happens, and it's not a new trope, but it became relevant because the bosses were so freaking hard in Monster Hunter that when they got a second stage, it's like, well, I used up all my potions, I used up all my things. Well, I'm about to get fucked.
Yeah.
Time to get fucked.
All right. So you mentioned that there is an archetype that you use, which is what was it? The big sword.
I was ask you, did you use like Sword and Shield, Warhammer, like?
I'm a great sword main.
Why?
It's just the beefy damage.
The beefy.
It's a tank.
Yeah. All right.
Is that your play style? You would say in general?
Don't even laugh, Josh, because that's you too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm asking. Like that, the tank is my preferred play style in any type of game like that.
Ask Josh what kind of D&D character he usually plays.
Oh, fucking barbarian. Fucking human barbarian tank.
It's funny because barbarian, it has no choice. It has to be tank. That's its archetype. That's its style. But in D&D, there's also the paladin, the cleric, and the fighter, which can become great tanks because Josh also played a cleric.
And became a tank. Yeah, exactly.
But with the fighters and stuff, because you can with those ones, it allows you to be multi-weapon. Like with the barbarian, you only have the heavy weapons. You can't have like normal swords because you won't get your bonuses.
Right.
You can with the other stuff, so you can be more. What's it called? You can be dexterous. You can be strength. You can be more magical and stuff like that. Barbarian, nope. Hammer, head, good.
Yeah.
And that's what I always think about when I see the great sword users in Monster Hunter.
Beefy.
That's probably more relatable to the hammer mains because
Yeah, hammer mains.
they have a lot of fun too because it's just
What little I play the game, I just sort of shield because I like having options.
So, I have a question for the archetype that you play, which is the big sword swinging.
Little dick having character.
So, because you play that character, I imagine you can't do defense. Like you can't block. Can you block, or do you have to do more evasive maneuvers where, like, okay, I'm swinging. All right, now I need to get out of the way. I can't just block with the shield or anything. Or
That was actually a good question.
Yeah.
'Cause I know in some games like in Baldur's Gate and stuff, there's a thing you can do
I'm
like
gonna cut through.
if you're in your main swing and the enemy is doing their attack, then oh shit, you have to try to. You can do like a jump or something to get out of that animation. Is there something similar like that with Monster Hunter?
yeah, you have to like time your dodges to make sure you don't get hit because not only do you have to dodge attacks, you also have to dodge roars because roars can like stun you along with tremors.
Yeah, that's fucked, man.
However, some weapons like the sword and shield that have like shields, you can block instead, so you can weirdly enough block a roar.
Yeah.
Which the great shield can do too, because the sword is actually big enough to hold in two hands and actually block attacks.
Okay, that was the other thing I want to ask. What the hell? How does that fucking one go? The one work where it's a fucking horn or some shit?
The hunting horn.
Yeah, how does that work?
Oh, basically, every time you swing with that weapon, it like adds notes to your weapon, and depending whatever hunting horn you use, because they have different melodies. So depending on which way you attack, after you do certain attacks, you can press a certain button and play all the melodies together and give your teammates buffs, like on the fly, or yourself.
So basically, it's like a barbarian.
Yeah, think of it as a barbarian that has that can buff itself.
No, I'm saying a bard is a bard that plays with their music
Oh.
and cast that also multi-classed into barbarians. So they call barbarians.
Oh yeah. So it's like it's a hammer that can play music.
And because I've never actually played the franchise, so are there aspects of, say, Magic where you can throw? Since you're like a big sword swinger or whatever, do you have items that you can throw at the monster to like reduce their speed, or I don't know, maybe you get a damage buff, like you cast a potion on them, and then your sword does 2x damage because of this like potion or something. Is there something like that?
Sort of, yeah. It's mostly because down to items, because for like the buffs on you, it's like drinking either potions or eating certain meats that you can either buy at the shops.
What do they call the cats?
Calicos.
Calicos. Yeah, there's a chef, which is another question I want to ask you later. But there's a little weird thing with that cat in another form of media that I want to talk about.
Okay.
But what was I saying? Well, the thing is with him, Monster Hunter has a different system when it's based around what different most of RPGs, in the sense of you find items to get stronger. Like, oh, I defeated the boss and he had this awesome sword. Where Monster Hunter is, I defeated this boss, now I can grab his materials to make an awesome weapon. So it's more about the hunting aspect of it is what's giving you your special weapons, and depending on the monster you killed, that gives that items that you make from him give you special buffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and some of the item weapons require rare items from that monster, so which you won't always get. So sometimes you have to hunt that monster over and over again, either by killing or capturing it.
Yeah, it's not the thing where you have to fight. You can end up fighting the boss like 10 times before you get the item.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So
And some of those items also some of those equipment also requires items from different monsters. So sometimes you just fight 2 different monsters just to complete one set.
And what's like the rarity drop? So say you want the scale of a fucking dinosaur or something, but it only drops like, say, 1 in 50 dinosaurs. Every 50 dinosaurs you might get that item. Does it have that aspect to it where you're just waiting around? Like the RNG, I'm guessing it's RNG that
Or as we called it in Destiny, RNG Jesus.
RNG Jesus, yeah. Yeah, tell me about that.
Kind of, yeah, because when you capture a monster, you just get a random amount of items, because hunting and capturing and carving differentiates between the items you'll get. Like you both get items from each one. It's just some items are easier to collect from a carve or from a capture. Yeah, because like you get like scales, hides, and like fangs and stuff like they're easily obtainable from either way. But for like higher stuff like plates or gems, those are some of the more higher valued stuff on monsters. And gems you can only get either from a tail carve, which some monsters have, or if you're lucky enough, like a carve or from a drop. Because when you hunt monsters too, you can break their body parts, which will drop items from them as well, increasing the chances of getting an item.
I see.
So while you're hunting a monster, you have to go for all the breakable parts, like breaking their legs or their head or their wings. And if they have a severable tail, you have to have a slicing weapon because you can't cut off a tail with a blunt weapon. So you have to have a severing weapon.
That's cool.
To cut the tail off to like carve it because that's the extra carve as well. So normally with monsters you can carve 3 times, but with that tail you get a 4th carve. And while also cutting off that tail, you reduce their tail attack since it's reduced in length.
So you need specific weapons to do specific things to a monster. So if you wanted to harvest items, you need a specific tool for that. And does that also apply for like the damage as well? Like you need a specific like axe or sword to attack, say like a T-Rex. You want to hit him like in the underbelly or something. Do you need a specific weapon for that does more damage?
Yes and no, because you can use any weapon you want, but
Okay.
like, some weapons do more damage to certain body parts. Like for example, on like flying wyverns, gun weapons would do more damage to the wings than normal other weapons would do.
That makes sense. Piercing does more damage to the wings.
Yeah, and then like to the tail, you do like more damage with slicing weapons, so like great swords, long swords, swords and shields. And then for like body parts like the head and stuff, you do more damage with blunt weapons, so like the hunting horn or the hammer. And then it tells you in little hunting notes like because it goes by like stars, like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, which is the max, and then you go off by there knowing like which weapon does the most damage to a certain body part.
I got you. And to transition the topic a bit, so you enjoy the game of Monster Hunter itself and the franchise. For as long as you've been playing it, what criticisms do you have about the game itself that you think could be an improvement?
Improvement? So far from what I've seen, there's nothing I can critique it about yet. So far, I've just been enjoying what they've made so far.
Cooper, get out of there, bastard. Sorry.
I got
go ahead.
nothing to critique about it so far yet.
So now you being essentially a Monster Hunter veteran.
Yeah.
No, not yet. You can be a verifiable veteran of Monster Hunter. What advice would you give to somebody who's just getting out or just starting their journey into the Monster Hunter franchise?
If they are gonna start, I would probably recommend either starting on maybe World or the new Monster Hunter Rise, since unlike the other older ones, they actually do have tutorials to teach about the weapons and stuff. Because in the older games, they don't do that. That's where you have to start learning off the bases. And again, that's what when the games are a bit harder, that's what most people say.
Yeah.
Because there's also an expedition mode in Monster Hunter World where you can just explore the land and to learn the map, while also gathering items to know which mixes with what.
Yeah.
So then you can learn different routes, learn how to get to a monster faster, and also discover new campsites, which will allow you to fast travel to different parts of the map, so you can get to the monster faster as well.
Okay.
And then learning different times when the right time to mount the monster, or to basically just learn when to stun them as well, or just learn when you have to get out of the way and read their patterns. Because in this game it's all pattern reading. You gotta learn how to fight the monster, or else you're just gonna freaking
get your ass whooped. Yeah.
And to start off with the game itself, when you're picking the class or archetype for the archetype you play, the big sword swinging fellow, is that like a novice or advanced character to use archetype, or can you use like sword and shield and that's more of like novice and easy? So or is that just open to anybody to pick whatever they want, or they're more. If you kind of get my drift, yeah.
Yeah, some weapons are more meant for beginner players, some more advanced. Like for example, the sword and shield, like the sword and shield is the base weapon you start off with in the game. Like
Okay.
pretty much in every game you start off with the sword and shield. That's like the go-to introductory weapon. And then you can either stick with that weapon if you want, or then branch off into a different weapon type. So far, I think maybe to me the harder ones would be maybe again like the slower user ones, like me with the great sword, or like maybe bow guns and stuff. Because since for bow guns you gotta craft or buy your own ammo,
Right.
because it's not unlimited. Because if you want to get the good ammo, you gotta make it yourself and everything. So that it takes a lot of grinding to do. So if you're gonna use those weapons, you gotta have the time to grind.
Yeah. Is there for the combat or the battle itself when you're fighting a monster, are there parries involved? So meaning like if there's a Stegosaurus like monster that'll swing its tail at you, are you able to parry it with the sword, like to reflect it and then also get your own turn to attack?
Technically, yes, because since with monsters, because like when you attack with the head of like a blunt weapon or for blunt attack, because if you have a slashing weapon, some slashing weapons have blunt attacks,
Yeah.
and if you attack the head repeatedly, it'll give an ailment or a status effect called stun, which will start stunning the monsters.
All right.
And then sometimes, as long with the fight going on, monsters will also become exhausted, and then if you hit them during those times, sometimes you knock the monster back to fall onto the ground and they'll just play on the ground being opened.
Oh, nice.
And then some monsters have attacks where you have an opportunity to technically parry. Like there's this brute wyvern that has been known for the entire history of Monster Hunter called Devil Joe. Some people call him Pickle because he looks exactly like a pickle. He's just a giant green monster. Yeah. And then he has a certain attack where the screen will zoom out, because monsters have super attacks or like big attacks where the screen will zoom out, letting you know that it's a really big attack coming, so you need to get out of the way. But with this attack, because when you attack him, he'll start doing that big super attack. He'll come down and hit you, but if you manage to hit him again while doing that, it will knock him immediately back over, leaving him open to attacks like every single time. But you gotta time that right. And then there's also some, like with the great sword, has a special attack called tackle. Basically, you shoulder bash into them. You literally hit the monster with your shoulder, and you're completely immune to all flinches. So you immune to roars, you immune to hits. Anything that hits you, you won't be knocked back, but you will take the full damage. So it's like a suicide, pretty much it. You don't dodge, you don't block. You take the hit with the chance of knocking the monster back, while not receiving any flinching yourself.
Right.
And then there's like the sword and shield. Like there's like a block counter. So if you do a block, you really do an attack right afterwards.
And this is all stuff that you can learn progressively over time, or are there specific tutorials for like doing the countering aspect of a battle?
So far, Monster Hunter World is like a tutorial area. We can learn the basic moves of the weapon. And then in the menu, if you look through the hunter notes, it teaches you a little bit more of the advanced moves. And then eventually, as you play through the game, you learn even more aspects of the weapon that even the notes and the tutorial that doesn't teach you.
Yeah.
Like for example, with the main thing about the greatsword is the reason why it's such a beefy weapon is because it's a charging weapon.
Right.
So basically, because while you're sitting there, you charge up the weapon, you notice your body getting surrounded by a red aura. And then as you let that weapon charge to its max, you
Knife film.
Oh, there's your box cutter.
yeah, and then you let that weapon charge up and you attack, and you can do multiple combos. But later on, as you learn, is that while you're charging that attack, you realize that if you let go at a certain time, it does more damage than charging all the way. Because when you charge all the way and you do attack, you just does a regular charge, and you just do the technical full damage that you thought you always did. But when you let go at a certain time, like right when you attack is what has to start, you hear like a little ching noise.
Right.
That you know that you did the charge correctly, and that does the actual full damage of the charge.
And do you recover quicker as a result of that? So you can do your next attack a little bit quicker than say if you did the full charge?
No, it's just for the increased damage. So
Okay, all right.
and then you can also increase that, but you can increase the chance of getting to that damage by again doing quick moves that lead up to it. Like for the main thing for Great Shield is to keep doing tackles while doing a charged weapon because those charges carry on to the next attack. Because the main thing about a great sword is the true charge attack, which basically it slashes the weapons down and the person flips over and dealing another big hit attack.
Right.
And then, but before you get to do a true charge attack, you got to do two attacks beforehand. So like one slash, then you have to wind it back up, then do a second slash, then wind it back up again, and then you do a double charge, and then that's where you get two charge. But if you just do a single charge, shoulder, then single charge, shoulder again, it's way faster, and you get to that big damaging weapon attack.
Right. And as far as the future of the game, as far as updates or anything you're looking forward to, what things are you looking forward to as far as Monster Hunter? Are there any future updates or even things that you're hoping for in the future?
When it comes to future updates in any Monster Hunter game, it's mainly either it's mainly just the monsters and the story. Because that's literally the point of the game, as the name applies. It's Monster Hunter. It's to hunt monsters. So any updates that come up, you hope for a new monster, and hopefully it's good, like both in looks and fighting style wise. Because lots of monsters can click to people in different ways as their favorite fights.
What's your personal favorite fight that you've had in the game?
So far for me would probably be either Rathalos or any other Elder Dragon, because the thing about Rathalos, he's like the first flagship monster of the entire game. Because each Monster Hunter game, when it comes out, has a flagship monster.
Right.
Basically, it's the box cover monster in the game that introduces a new theme that the game didn't have in before. Like for example, since he was the first monster, he's like the first flying monster that like shoots fire and everything. So he's like like the first basic wyvern, which made him fun because since it's like technically fighting a dragon pretty much. And then that's when the Elder Dragons coming out, like the true dragons, so like the four-legged ones with wings to backs. Because in the lore, Elder Dragons are like creatures of mass destruction that are threatening like into entire ecosystems. So that makes their fights fun because since they have unique things. Because Elder Dragons are the only creatures in the game that are pretty much pure fictional. Because all their powers don't come like naturally like other monsters do. Like either because of the natural environment, like symbiosis, or just like sack. Their powers are just purely magical.
Right.
They're the forces of nature, pretty much.
Right. So like a Godzilla or something.
Yeah, or Nergiganta. Yeah, he's before you get to fight the Arctempered, which is like really hard. Just regular high rank or low rank Nergiganta, he's really fun. Think of him like as a Wolverine, pretty much. He's like the Wolverine version of dragon, a Wolverine dragon, or some other people call him the Durian dragon because he's just all spikes. Because the thing about him is he constantly grows spikes out of his arms, his wings, his back, his head, and then which he uses to increase his attack, like I said beforehand. But eventually, those spikes become black and hardened, which makes all attacks reduced against him, while also making all attacks bounce off of him because it's basically armor. Because another thing about monsters is they have non-breakable body parts, so like basically strong body. So when you hit those parts, it does less damage than you would do on the critical points. And then when he gets that black armor, that's when the attacks start becoming to those one-shot attacks when Arc-Tempered and does his big one-shot move when he dives down, destroys all the spikes, leaving him naked again, having to regrow all the spikes again. And then another one like Kushala Deora, it's basically a dragon that controls like tornadoes and everything. He can just summon tornadoes anywhere he wants, breeze wind, basically just stuff that's just not natural for any creature to do. when they're born. They're just unnatural forces.
All right.
Interesting.
What else you guys have as far as questions go?
I'm curious. Oh, go ahead.
Now, are you the type of person that does the min-max, that looks up, all the stuff to see if they can min-max their character? Or are you more like, I like how this works, I like how this works, I'm going to do it this way, this way, this way?
For the beginning part, I just played mainly what people call it as a fashion hunter. I just picked armor just to look cool. I didn't care about the stats. But as of right now, due to the Gigante, I'm now having to actually choose the armor that benefits my play style. So now I had to min-max. Now I had to min-max my armor that goes on with my weapon because in the game you don't level up yourself. It's the armor and weapons that level up.
Which is what I was going to bring up, because it's a lot like how it was in Destiny 2. Was you got to level 20, and that was the cap. And to raise your power beyond that, it was your weapons and armor had what's called a light rating.
Yeah, power.
Yeah, and so those ratings put together would make your levels above level 20. It's the same, because when me and Josh used to play, we didn't look up min-maxing stats. We didn't know what the perfect thing. We just thought, hey, this is what's fun. This is how we're gonna play it. Which is probably why we never beat a raid.
Yeah, close.
No, we did beat the first one.
In the first, Destiny 1 we did. Yeah, we got guys going and stuff, which is kind of it's a good transition, because I did want to start asking you a little bit about Destiny.
Well, I have another question about Monster Hunter.
Good.
Now, as a fan of Monster Hunter, what did you think of the movie?
Movie?
Oh yeah, man, you haven't seen it with fucking Mila Jovovich?
It's can't be as fuck or weird, but I'm sure it's probably watchable, right?
I don't know. Let's ask Ruben.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the movie.
And what did you think of it?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, there were some things that.
I heard that people were really pissed off that the U.S. military was involved in it.
Yeah.
That it killed. They said that it killed the whole movie.
Yeah, it kind of did a little bit.
Now,
What was it, sponsored by fucking Raytheon? Like,
so it was not. No, it was like the what you call it, like Top Gun, where it was sponsored by the U.S. Navy.
oh yeah.
But now is it true? Because he's talking about the cast of Calicos. I was listening to somebody, and they were talking about how that what's her name, the main character, the main actress,
Mila Jovovich.
yeah, that her character supposedly was flirting with the cat that was the cook.
I didn't even notice that. To be honest, the only thing floating I saw was the cat. Was the cat flirting to the her. I didn't notice her flirting to the cat.
So there was quote unquote sexual tension between a cat and a human.
I guess, yeah.
Oh my god, they're making no man, I can't abide that. I can't. That's fucking crazy.
Also, another gripe with that movie is that because after they beat that so-called Greater Rathalos, because the thing is they were fighting that monster with weapons that had fire element on it, which again for a fire-breathing wyvern, which is resistant to fire, just doesn't make sense. And
Well, you gotta understand, Ruben. In our world, in the real world, the way we fight fire is with fire.
yeah, and then also introducing a point like saying how it's weak during a breath is both right and true because in the game it's just open to attacks when you're trying to breathe, but I don't know. In the movie, it just didn't seem right. I don't know.
So you'd say there were some continuity errors between the game and then just the general way. Yeah, I guess that's probably.
Well, that's how it is always. Like video game movies never live up to it.
Yes. But the biggest one was like probably introducing Gourmet Gala right after the freaking Rathalos, which is like a way bigger step than what a Rathalos is. It's like it's cast as a question as an unclassified monster. It's not a wyvern. It's not an elder dragon. It's completely a mystery monster. It's like neither because the main thing about Gourmet Gala is it's the zombie monster because it's known for the frenzy fires, because it affects monsters by attacking them, and then afterwards the monster eventually dies from the frenzy, and then once it dies, it comes back to life, and then the frenzy makes that resurrected monster even stronger. That attacks other monsters in its own rage of undead, infecting them, and just keeps spreading. It's a doomsday monster pretty much.
Right.
and to have that as the next monster right after just a giant Rathalos is just it didn't make
Underwhelming.
sense. It just didn't make sense.
They struggled to fight a tier. They struggled to fight and defeat a tier C monster, and the monster they introduced right after it is the god.
Oh, not God.
No,
but-
but I was gonna say, that's basically what they did.
yeah, pretty much. It's just pretty much like a nearly nearly omnipotent monster.
Right.
Damn, that's crazy.
I knew that movie wasn't gonna do good. I mean, it probably would have been good to people who've never played the game
Or if you're 5 years old and you just want to see,
or Goldfish.
Yeah.
you just want to see your favorite characters on screen.
Or if you just want to see monsters getting killed by the U.S. military, I mean, sometimes, maybe that's what people want to see, all right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. You have any other questions?
That was it.
Oh, all right. So I want to ask you about Destiny real quick. So you said you recently had just gotten into a Destiny 2 Discord server.
Yeah.
Did you just start playing Destiny 2, or have you been playing it for a while?
I've been playing for a while. I played Destiny 1 as well, and just moved on from this to Destiny 2.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, me and Frank played Destiny 1 a shit ton. That is on our 20 on our 20-year Xbox when they did the little anniversary. They had this thing where they calculated
Didn't Snake Eater come out 30 years ago or something like that?
20 years ago. Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, when they did that, they had all the games you played from the Xbox 360 when they started tracking the time that you played in games all the way to the current. They picked the game. They showed everybody the games that you had put the most hours into. And Destiny 1 was the game for me. Like,
By a lot.
it was like 1,000. It was like a shit ton of hours, dude. It was like,
For me, it was like it said 1,100 hours,
yeah, I think it,
and then my next most played game was Assassin's Creed 3, and that was at 100 hours.
yeah. There was a disparity because mine for Destiny 1 was over 1,000 hours, and yeah, the next closest game was like 100 and maybe 120 was number 2. So, would you say that you put in which game would you say you think you put in more time to so far, Destiny or Monster Hunter?
Probably Destiny, because since I haven't played, because I've been playing Destiny first, and I haven't gotten to Monster Hunter until Monster Hunter World came out.
Oh, okay.
But the first time I ever been introduced to Monster Hunter was when my cousin came over with the demo for Monster Hunter 4, which is the game that Gorbagala was introduced.
Oh, okay. So, right now you say you probably dump more time into Destiny than you said.
Yeah, mainly because since I just had it longer.
You've been playing it longer, the
Yeah.
franchise. Okay, interesting. Well, one other thing about the Monster Hunter, and also this kind of applies to Destiny too. Does it piss you off that they keep making you buy shit to get the new updates or whatever, to get the new version of the story or the next set of levels? You have to like pay $40 or whatever, right, or $60 almost.
For Destiny, I mean, not really, because the point of the game, because you can play the story if you want, or just play the repeated raids the game comes with anyways. Mm-hmm. But for Monster Hunter, yeah, because since to beat this, like to complete the full story, so I don't know about the other games, but so far for Monster Hunter World and Rise, yeah, if you want to complete the full story, you gotta buy the DLC afterwards. So like, if you want to completely have the full experience, you have to buy the DLC.
So does that piss you off that you have to do that in order if you want to continue the experience, instead of them just saying, okay, like it was back in our day. Back in my day, you could pay $60 for a game and get the whole experience out of the box, whereas now you pay $60.
70.
Okay, sorry, $70. That just gets your foot in the door. Then in another 6 to 12 months, you're going to pay another $70 to get the second half of the story or the second part of the story. And then another 6 to 12 months after that, you're going to pay another $70 to get the third part of the story. Kind of like what they're doing that. So do you think it should go back to the, hey, you buy what you buy, you get the whole story, and then if you want to buy add-on DLCs or whatever, that's fine. Add-ons are okay. Or do you think this kind of it's almost a subscription model?
Game as a service.
Yeah, gaming as a service. Do you think?
Would you see what the CEO of Take-Two or whatever it's called, the company that's sorry, not. Oh yeah, because Take-Two owns Rockstar,
Okay, yeah.
and so they're talking about Grand Theft Auto, and he was saying that
Fucking shit.
he says it's at the point where they have to start charging people by the hour to play games.
That's fucking tragic.
So instead of paying like your money up front, you have to start paying like $15 for 6 hours of gameplay. So it's basically like you're renting the game.
That's awful.
That is fucking
And
terrible.
I'm saying it right now that if that's the way the gaming industry goes, that might actually be the end of gaming for me in general.
They won't do it because they know they're going to lose money.
Yeah, there's no way that would be.
Everybody would boycott it easily.
Yeah, they would have to. There'd be no way. There'd be no fucking way. So, what do you think about that? Because you grew up in the generation where this type of shit is kind of normal.
For us, back in the day, we got a game, played it. It was like, I'll use Diablo 2 as an instance. You played the game. At the end of the game, you fought Diablo, defeated him, saved the world from him. Cool. That's exactly what the game was marketed to us as. A couple years later, we got what was called an expansion pack. We got his brothers. We got 2 expansion packs, and we fought both of his brothers as well. So it was an addition to the game. We didn't need to get those 2 packs to finish the game. The whole game was Diablo, fighting Diablo. Then we got Ball and his sister. I can't remember what the other one was called. And we got them as expansion packs, and they were like $30 as opposed to the $50 the game was. So it was DLC in the beginning, I guess. But it wasn't to complete the game. The game was already completed. This was just a little bit more to give us.
It was like bonus content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Essentially. So yeah, that's where I think the difference is with you. You've always known basically, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay the $60 or whatever to get into the game, and then oh yeah, I'm gonna if I want to beat the rest of the game or I want to get the extra shit.
If we ever start a gaming company and we do that shit,
I was gonna say
they're gonna be called expansion packs.
I was gonna say if we ever started and made our own game, we should be like, hey, it's the game. The tagline should be, hey, it's the game. Yep, the whole game. That's it. Start to finish, you get the whole fucking game for $59.99 or whatever it is. And then, yes, if we decide to make some smaller expansions to it to expand the story, cool, yeah, $20 or whatever.
And
Not
we want to call them DLCs. We're gonna call them
expansion packs. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. When we start Game Rage Magazine Gaming Company, GRMGC. All right, that is what we're gonna do. We are pledging for that right now. So, anyways, you guys got anything else?
Well, continuing
Yeah,
on the
let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
the story DLC, it's like the only thing that like going for that I've seen so far for the story extra DLC they finished Monster Hunter is like because they both do technically have their own stories because since the first game you have to defeat a certain big monster and within the continued story of DLC you have to fight another big like monster that's like threatening anything.
Right.
But what makes it more fun for each one is that because both the main and the DLC story, they both have like crossovers from like other worlds. So like even though it's like continued story, it is like adding like extra content from like other games to make it more interesting and stuff. Like for currently Monster Hunter World, they added stuff from Mega Man.
That's all that shit.
Yeah, I think was it Dante? I think.
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry, yeah. And
That's cool.
Yeah, there was also The Witcher, Final Fantasy.
I've seen a lot of games have been doing that, like especially like mobile games.
Like crossover shit.
Yeah, they've been doing crossover shit with like anime and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. Fucking old Fortnite over here.
Man, one of my favorite things about the early 2000s when fighting games weren't all that popular, so you saw a lot of companies crossing over and having characters fight against other Marvel versus Capcom, SNK Capcom versus SNK. That shit was tight. Those were like,
I was about to say,
oh my god! I saw
a lot of the anime crossovers, but back in the day, but it was always through Guilty Gear. I don't know if you ever heard of that game.
yeah, Guilty Gear, yeah.
No, Ruby got to do that too.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
As far as like the topic of games being sold as incomplete,
Yeah.
I would say there is a bit of a defense for games having constant releases. Like, sure, you buy a game, you pay $60 for it, and maybe it's not complete, but also the life cycle of the game is extended because of the DLC, and maybe that's why it's become more integral.
Okay.
But it is problematic in the way that it's like when you buy something, you pay $60 for it, you expect to get everything you
Sure,
paid
yeah.
for, right?
That's what I always liked
So-
about Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto 5. They added a shit ton of DLC to the multiplayer, and all of it was free.
Right. Now, I get it. Rockstar got us in the sense that they sold that game, Grand Theft Auto 5, on 3 console generations. So,
Like Skyrim.
we bought the game 3 fucking times. So we basically did pay $180 for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
So I get it. That's why they're saying, oh, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be $180 because it's like, well, we're not going to release it over 3 console generations. It's going to be, we need to get the money now.
Yeah, we need,
Which I get it, but
Again, that still is just a rumor.
right, but we're still getting
But the fact that the CEO was saying that we want to start charging
by the hour, that's fucking garbage. But I always shit on Destiny 2 because that's the prime. Like Destiny's the prime example of this and why it's fucking bad. Is because you pay your $70, you're good. You get the first part of the game. Then the next year they release it's a DLC, but it's a it's a storyline continuation. You get the main storyline continued, and then you get maybe 2 planets that you get to go visit now or get to go do missions on extra. And then you get like half of a story. Like you get maybe a quarter of what you would get of its story content from the main game, but they charge you $60 fucking for that.
Oh God.
And then in another year, the next year, they do the same thing, and you get another couple planets. You get another quarter of a story.
We got this.
Right,
Got that.
and then but they're charging you for
But
a
the thing-
whole other fucking
But
game.
to be fair to them, every time we would gripe about buying the fucking DLC, and then we'd play it and never gripe about it again because it felt like we got our money's worth.
Here's the thing with Destiny 1, though, when we were doing it hard, those DLCs were not the same price as the game.
No, they weren't.
They were like $30. They were still cheaper. So that's why I always felt like we got our money's worth. Whereas now they're basically charging you for the game all over again.
Isn't the game about to end?
I think so. I hope so because I do miss Destiny.
Destiny 1, dude. The budget to make that game was higher than most countries' GDPs.
Yeah,
was
man.
fucking. I mean,
Which is insane.
yeah.
And I don't know, Destiny 1 to me was like
Well, and
fucking
it
peak
has to
Destiny, man. Like it was awesome.
No, the beginning parts of 2 were fucking great.
Sure, they were great too.
Taken King was one of the best.
Taken
DLCs.
King was pretty sweet. But and now I stopped playing Destiny. We stopped playing Destiny 2 at what, maybe the second?
I lasted a little bit longer than you.
Because I was just like, man, I can't fucking keep doing this shit anymore, man. I really can't.
And remember,
'Cause-
like a year later, we tried getting back into it.
And
then we felt like fucking deer in the headlight, dude. We like, where the fuck is everything? What are we supposed to be doing here?
Oh yeah, there's just like once you get out of it, you can't. There's no way you can get back in. You're so far behind. And then now I would probably have to pay to get caught up on the story. I'd probably have to pay another $180.
No, you don't, because remember they got everything all the way up to the DLC after Clyde. What is his name? Clyde 6.
Oh, Kate 6, yeah.
Clyde 6. After his death was erased. You can't even play that stuff.
Oh fuck! So you can't even.
Yeah,
You can't even get it.
You can't know. All that stuff's locked. So even if you start playing now, you can't play that stuff anymore.
So then you're still missing out.
Yeah.
On all that shit.
Because that's how massive the game has become. They
Wow.
don't have the server space for it anymore.
That's crazy. So then that's where I've been saying like, okay, just make Destiny fucking 3 already.
No, I
and-
mean, from what I've been hearing, this is like the end of Destiny.
Oh, they're gonna just be done with it. They're not even gonna continue it on.
Because as it is right now, aren't they fighting the actual darkness now?
Yeah,
And it's
the
like-
witness.
Yeah, the witness. That guy looks so fucking goofy. It is not even fucking funny. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him online. He fucking looks ridiculous.
I know what they were trying to go for, and they missed every fucking mark on it.
Yeah.
Show Adam.
Now, granted, I mean, obviously, I haven't played the game, so I don't, or that far in a while, but I don't know. That whole thing, this game as a service, like Adam referred to it as, that has to be put to a stop. There has to be a hard line in the sand.
So that's his
and I'm
face.
hoping.
So that's his face, but that's not the ridiculous part. His head is smoke, and like every time you ever watch the Fairly Odd Parents?
No.
You ever seen the meme for Doug Diggledome? There's a joke because every scene his hat always gets bigger and bigger.
Okay.
So to the point where it's off screen. That's how it is with this motherfucker. He has smoke coming all off screen, off the top of the screen. It just looks ridiculous. I'm like, we fought the Taken King, who looked fucking badass.
Yeah.
We fought the Cabal. We fought Magus,
yeah,
who's
man.
like fucking big old fat dude, but he was fucking intimidating as fuck. All the fucking guys, the fucking what are they called? The Fallen. Those guys were fucking like, they were like insects that got a hive mind and shit. It was fucking, they're creepy and they were fun to fight. This is what they went for the final fucking villain? Fucking anime eyes and fucking ridiculous fucking smoke coming all the way to the end of the game.
Oh, don't forget the faces in the smoke too.
Oh yeah, as the smoke's like, you know how smoke is in the loops. As it's doing that shit, you can see faces. Free us. You will bow before me, son of a... Oh damn, I can't finish that line. Oh, what's his name? Son of Kal-El.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. That shit needs a stop needs to be put to this.
Or make it affordable.
You know,
If it's
Or at least make it affordable.
You
Fuck.
know, they brought him back.
Who?
Kate 6.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
So I'm like, that was one of the most emotional
Yeah, it was.
fucking deaths in game.
Yeah.
To the point where our character, the character you play on, there's a joke that he took a vow of silence ever since he beat the first game. That character breaks it and says, "I'm gonna kill this motherfucker." It's like, oh shit, even he did that shit. That's how impactful this shit was. And then they fucking say, "Oh no, that didn't happen."
They just deleted it. Yeah, that fucking pisses me off. But anyways, all right. Well, does anybody else have any other interesting things to add or anything to say?
Well,
I was gonna say
the
if
most
it,
important thing.
Which was what?
The fuck that Destiny was like, even before Sony bought them, they were very biased against Xbox players.
That is true. That is one of the things that did piss me off. And granted,
Bungie was made by Xbox players.
that is true. And they did always kind of fuck us with Destiny. And like we would always, even before Sony bought them, we would get shit later. We would get it like 6 to 8 months later than people got it on.
It wasn't that extreme.
No, I think it was. I think it was very a long time. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right. But anyways, that's neither here nor there because at the end of the day, the only people that are around are the people who play now. So, anyways, well, this was the first episode. You got our introductions of who we are, and this episode, this podcast, the Team Killing Glitchtards, is basically going to be about us talking about video games and the video game industry and multiple different aspects of it. We're going to try to do themed type episodes. So, like, we're going to do one on Halo. We're going to do one on Assassin's Creed. We're going to do one on fighting games. We're going to do one on arcades, which I think that's probably the next one. Episode 2 is going to be arcades because I really want to fucking, get into deep dives of our experiences as kids in arcades. And even with you here, I think that I don't know how your experience is with arcades, but, it'd just be interesting to hear as a younger person how it evolved over time. But that's for episode number 2, so we'll get into that later. But anyways, if this is your first time listening to anything Game Rage related, you can obviously go to our social medias on the Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, and you can also follow us on Twitter /X at Game Rage Mag. You can also go to our website, GameRageMagazine.com. And, if you listen this far, fucking A, just give us a goddamn follow, all right? It's not that hard to do. It's pretty simple. And, that pretty much ends it right there. So, does anybody else have anything else to say? No? Everybody good? No? All right. Well, thank you for listening, and stay tuned. We will catch you on the next one.